Hello, everyone. Yes, grab those virtual seats real quick today because we're going to be talking about CBD and we'll talk about what that means once we come back into the studio. But listen, once you come in, I can't wait to hear where you're visiting in from in the virtual studio audience. I have Dr. Amina and Dr. Fiona here with me on the Kim Jacobs Show. Y'all are definitely going to have some questions today. So get those fingers ready, and get ready to start typing. I'm also going to put the link up here. Let me put this up right before we even start the show. And as long as your comments are positive and, edifying and stuff, I don't mind bringing you in. I know one young lady is running for Miss North Carolina Teen USA. So I said I'll put the link up in case she wants to come on as well, just to introduce herself and get some votes out there. So I'll let her do that as well. Okay, so today we have Dr. Amina and we have Dr. Fiona here in the Kim Jacobs studio. How are you?
Fantastic. Thank you for that happy song before we got on here.
Yeah. It's an opportunity just to kind of relax, and hey, I might play that for everybody. I let people play whatever song they like, but that right there got us really going, didn't it?
Yes.
So we're gonna have a great episode today. Grab your virtual seats. Ooh. Type your questions and let's get this show started. Hi, I'm Kim Jacobs, the Balance Doctor. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of the Kim Jacobs Show. Be sure to subscribe to the Kim Jacobs Show right on YouTube. Turn on your notification bell to all so you never miss a beat. And guess what? Every time you watch, you're going to receive a real relevant and relatable guest that's going to share with you a piece of the puzzle on this journey called life that will help you be able to manage just a little bit smoother. At the end of the day, the Kim Jacobs Show goal is to be able to provide balance to the world, one household at a time.
Kim Jacobs Show. You're watching Kim Jacobs Show.
Yes, it is the Kim Jacobs Show, and I have with me Dr. Amina, and we're going to be talking with her. She's a PharmD, and she is internationally recognized as well as, and that's as an award-winning pharmacist. And then I also have Dr. Fiona here, and she is a chemist. And together, they are actually working together to articulate the benefits of CBD oil, y'all. So tag your friends, your family, your coworkers, everybody in the neighborhood, Ray, all the boys in front of 7-Eleven, everybody. Let them know we're talking about CBD oil today, okay? Okay, welcome, Dr. Amina and Dr. Fiona.
Our pleasure.
Now, I said I'm going to try and be as professional as possible on this episode. My team, we had a whole team meeting. They were like, Kim, stay clear of saying certain words, So I was like, what? I said, I grew up from the projects back in the day, it was known as certain things. So I'm eager to learn as well today as to what is CBD versus marijuana, right? So we're going to learn today. So let's go ahead and get right into today's topic, consumer safety in CBD and what to look for in a product. I actually, that's one of the questions. But first, I want to find out, how did you all team up together to even decide to do this? Tell us that story.
So as a pharmacist, I was trained in the medicinal medications, pharmaceuticals. That's all I really knew for years of my training. I had heard of alternatives ways that people could get relief, and that it wasn't popular because it wasn't pharmaceutically backed.
Right.
But for me, I didn't have a resource to trust. So when a few years ago, CBD became such a buzzword, and my patients would call me and say, do you have CBD? And I'll say, no, I don't sell snake oil. I don't know much about it, And so
you called it what? That was worse than what I was going to call it. What did you say? You don't sell what?
Snake oil, because I just wanted to make sure, because it's very, as a healthcare provider, I didn't want to mislead people. But then I started getting calls from the local doctors, and they were like, hey, Amina, we trust you. Our patients are really looking for alternatives from opiate addiction. So our country is suffering from opiate addiction. Can you find out if these alternatives are real? Because I'm seeing all these messages, I'm seeing online studies, but I need a pharmacist, right?
Right.
I said, okay, here goes my new calling. Let me start diving into these books and learning. And wow, what I found was that, and I'll let Fiona talk into this, this was used 1,000 years ago, you know? But you know what? I, with all my knowledge, didn't have the knowledge about this.
Wow.
So in my study, I was like, fantastic. I saw the benefits, but then I found out I have to be careful because it's not regulated. That means, how do I trust now where these products are coming from? So there was a big news article about a reporter that went out and sampled bottles from like hundreds of places. And when they took them to the lab, it didn't even have CBD in it. Or it had things that you didn't order. It had heavy metals. It had fungus.
Wow.
Because there's no regulation. No one goes to produce it. So then I stopped. I said, now I found the value of this, but who should I choose to order this from my patients? And that's how I ran into Fiona, the chemist. I'll let her tell about her journey.
Okay, and before you tell your journey, Dr. Fiona, I did research a lot of things too. And one thing that I saw was that it says that marijuana had been used to treat pain as far back as 2900 BC. Oh, whoa, okay. I didn't even know that because I never researched marijuana before either. But that's pretty interesting as well to know that that had been the case. But 2900 BC, this was according to Healthline. Okay, Dr. Fiona, tell us your component here as a chemist.
Yeah, it's actually the oldest crop in the world, really, that is recorded. It's fascinating. But yeah, I guess my story goes a little bit, well, somewhat similar to Amina. So I actually grew up, I'm born and raised in Germany, and I grew up with homeopathic medicine. We very rarely took synthetic drugs. You know, over there, you can even find MDs that are specialized in homeopathic, so natural treatments.
Wow.
They will still give you a prescription for a drug if you're really sick, but it's just a different culture. And when I came to the US, I had a shock. Every time I went to the doctor, I came out with a prescription for like an antibiotic or so. It was shocking, you know. But as a chemist, I did, you know, the regular curriculum, went to grad school, got my doctorate, taught in academia for a while, and, you know, taught college, and then left there, went into the private sector. And at the time, I was the only chemist in the company that I worked for. And when the cannabis industry started emerging, we had more and more calls with questions. People asked questions because this is kind of like moonshining always. You know, everybody learns it like from their uncle or from a friend, but it's
okay. I didn't want to say it. You're saying it, Fiona.
You know? So, you know, they sent these people to me and said, well, you can go and consult with them. So I consulted in the cannabis industry for about 5 years. And I went all over the country, California to Colorado. And my husband is also a chemist. So every night we had the same discussion. I got out from one of these big places and I had to call him. And I was like, you won't believe what I saw today. You will not believe it. And so the common theme for years was, one day we're going to do it better, right? And so the day eventually came where we actually were able to put up a lab, and we were both used to pharmaceutical standards. We worked with manufacturers in the pharmaceutical and chemical industries. So all the regulations were everything we knew, you know, everything had a lab manual and a standard operating procedure. Right. And that's exactly how we wanted to go about things, because after all, yeah, it's not a prescription drug, but it's something that can heal you, you know. And coming from a homeopathic background, I suppose, you know, I had never smoked it or anything, but I certainly knew the value of it. So of course, you know, coming from there, it was a little bit tricky to get into this space, but eventually, yeah, we realized that, you know, now that we have the scientifically backed methods, now we have some other problems, because now we have people come and ask for our products that take blood thinners or cholesterol medicine or, heart medicine. So this is really where we knew we had to team up with somebody that knew about all of these things and how they interact in your body and potential cross interactions that can happen. And that's how we teamed up with Amina, because really when it boils down to it, this is nothing that you should buy on a gas station on the corner. It really has an impact on your health and on your body. So we should consider all aspects of it.
Yeah, we all trust and love Amina. So it's like, okay, so if Amina is saying that something's got to be right? That's what most people would think if they know Amina, right?
Yes. And so she needed the pharmacist background, and we had to talk about drug interactions and educate people, because just because it's natural does not mean it cannot harm you. So you need to be able to communicate with people who understand and have access points to say, my mother is taking these medications. Can I add CBD to it? So we wanted to be on that resource. So we wanted to protect the consumer, basically.
Wow. Okay, that's a pretty interesting story. If you guys found that to be interesting, put wow. I mean, that just the way that they two came together, put wow in the comments, because already this is off to an interesting start. Let's see what some of the comments are that's already coming in. What'll happen is people will ask questions or may just put some type of comment in the comment section and we'll address it. My mom is on. She's like right now, she's like just keeping it basic. Good morning, ladies. I'm sure she'll get warmer as time go on. But she's like, good morning, everybody. Good morning, mommy. Okay. All right. So, is CBD legal?
Yes. So CBD actually, or hemp in general, any cannabis used to be banned in the United States due to the 1937 Tax Act that was passed. So for the last several decades, it was a Schedule I drug. However, people realized that hemp or cannabis—
Schedule I is equal to cocaine and things like that. So when you hear Schedule I, that's very regulated. Right?
Okay. So say it one more time, because then that way, because this is like whoop over my head. So you have to break it down for me, because I'm serious. It's like I have a mental block. So I have to get past the fact that when I see CBD, I see that green plant. That's all I see. I don't see. I'm like, even if
it was basically scheduled as a felony or as a drug like meth or illegal opioids. So it was really a harsh drug, but people realized that, there's more to it. Apart from the benefits that it can have on the body, you can also use the stems for the fiber. The seeds have a lot of protein in them and unsaturated fatty acids, things that are really healthy for our body. And so in 2014, the first farm bill was passed that actually legalized hemp. There are regulations. So one of the substances that is in hemp, in cannabis, is THC. And that is actually what gets people high when they smoke marijuana. So in order to have—
You said PHP?
THC. Tetrahydrocannabinol.
Okay, that's what gets people high.
Yes, ma'am. It has high psychoactive ingredients. So this is what really gets people high. CD does not do that. So the lawmakers said, if we keep that component low, then we can pass it. And so the legal threshold ever since 2014 is 0.3% of THC is legal, and everything above that is illegal. So to give you a reference, an average marijuana plant actually has between 25 and 30% of THC. So we are over 100-fold below that.
So hemp has now been legal to grow it as long as your plant has 0.03 of THC, right? So you're just seeing the difference of how the market is going. If you're looking for marijuana versus you're looking for the 99.9% benefit of this plant without the psychoactive hallucinant in it. So when you're choosing medicine, we're choosing the whole plant, hemp, right? The whole cannabis, and we are eliminating what we've always known to be illegal. So it does not exist anymore. So that's what makes CBD legal. If a company follows the protocol of extracting it and putting in the bottle exactly what the law requires.
Now, there is one little tricky thing. CBD can also still be illegal if it is derived from marijuana. So it needs to come from what is called industrial hemp. So the plant itself, as it grows, has to fall below this threshold.
Wow. So people that are growing this stuff in their yards, I'm trying to, I might not even know. It's like a
So you cannot just go out and grow it wherever you want to. It's actually still regulated. So in North Carolina, for example, we have the North Carolina Industrial Hemp Commission. We are actually licensed and registered with them. Every grower has to register. They have to say exactly the fields that they are growing on. They have to give the coordinates, and the state comes out and tests the plants before they are allowed to harvest and sell it. Now, if they go above that threshold, one of our farmers just had this problem last year because we had a lot of rain and the plants were really healthy. He got in at 0.5%. He actually
so he got in. He grew it a little bit too heavy. So it went a little bit too high, and he got regulated.
He had to burn his whole crop. Yes.
So if you follow the rules, you can protect the consumers. They can be consuming things that are legal, but you have to know where it's grown. You have to know where it's processed. You have to know these things. And that's why when we teamed up, we wanted to create a company that had full transparency. Fiona calls it the DNA. You can, at any lot of our products, we can tell you which farmer, when it was harvested, when we extracted it, when we took it to the lab to double check it. Everything is transparent, and we have a QR code on the product. So we don't let people be so afraid of the medicinal benefit because they feel like every CBD is produced the same. You got to know where you're getting it from to protect you and your loved ones.
So if it's on the shelf in a store, like I've seen it in like Whole Food stores and different things. And I don't know. It's definitely, I don't know what it is, but I don't even want to look at. I don't even want to even be caught looking up. What's wrong with me, Dr. Fiona and Amina? Come on.
Because we have still the narrative that you're taking marijuana, but CBD is not marijuana.
That is so crazy. So how do you revert? Because I'm telling you, this is just, I can only speak for Kim. I'm in the Whole Food store, and they have it right there at the register, right? And I'm looking, I'm like, but then I'm like, but I don't want to be looking at the CBD oil. Like, I'm interested in it. It's like, I don't know. I think it's just mental conditioning.
But that's what education does. And this is what we wanted to talk to people so they know and they decipher what it is they're finding. And another thing, like you could now experiment, is when you find one of those bottles, get your phone, get a QR code, and look at what are they giving you. Like, so we want consumers to be knowledgeable. We want you to be empowered. When you have to make that decision one day or another, you are protecting yourself. So finding what do they have, what is the limit, and I know you put what's the limit of
0.3%.
0.3.
There it is, right there.
No, it's just 0.3.
You have two zeros.
0.3. Let's put that in here.
Yeah.
Let me correct that, and I can't go back and change it, but I'm gonna put the right thing up here. Let's see, 0 less than 0.3. Okay, and this is Dr. Fiona. This is information that Dr. Fiona and Dr. Amina have been a part of, the chemical and the pharmaceutical benefits of CBD oil, CBD period. And that's why they're coming on today's episode of the Kim Jacobs Show. And listen, y'all, don't leave me out here as the host by myself. If y'all have questions, I'm representing you guys, providing you with real, relevant, and relatable information, because a lot of people have these questions. So let's make sure CBD has less than, why do I keep
0.3? Yep.
Now it's correct.
But that's still typo in there. So I got less than We're going to get this right because I don't like to put anything out that's not right. So less than. Okay, here we go. CBD has less than 0.3% THC, according to Dr. Fiona and Dr. Amina, correct?
Correct.
All right. Okay. All right. Wow. Let's see. Any comments, questions, thoughts about what's being shared? Let's see. Anybody? Jamar. Yes, Jamar Ogletree said this is very informative. Very informative.
Great. And so what I was saying, so you're walking out that aisle. Now be curious. You see, everything is about knowledge, and say, okay, what is this company? Get your phone out, get the QR code. What we want you to see is a certificate of analysis.
Okay.
Okay.
So that's what you want people to look for, because that was going to be my question. What should consumers look for in a CBD product? And so this, what is it called? A consumer analysis?
A certificate of analysis.
Okay.
Okay. But let Fiona tell you more, because now there are companies who are like, they have a fake certificate of analysis, and a consumer doesn't know what to look for in that certificate of analysis. So you can have a company have one certificate for all their products. How is that possible? Each one of our batches we send to a third-party lab to make sure what we're saying is in there. And also what shouldn't be there should be checked. So we want a third-party lab to make sure we don't have mold, we don't have pesticides, we don't have heavy metals, because we don't want to contribute to, while you're solving a medical problems, now we're putting toxicity in your body, because we are not extracting with pharmaceutical elegance or scientific evidence of how to do this, because there's no regulation. So we are our own worst regulators. You know, yes. We are not waiting for FDA to come to our facility to say that we're doing the right way. Fiona has brought her industry expertise and say, if someone's going to consume the product, let's really give them something that is going to help and also not harm them. So getting with the certificate and analysis, it's so important, and understanding. And we have our email there. If you guys find one and you have questions, we want to be community advocates. So that way, because the consumption is increasing in the country. And our question was, wow, I hope we don't cause more damage than harm, because people are seeing it everywhere. So it's normalized, but what they're consuming isn't safe. And we're not saying that everybody isn't safe, but you need to make sure your vendors are.
So this is where people would email you info at, is that IK or LK?
LKN Extractions.
Okay, so info at lknextractions.com. That email goes to both of you?
Yes, so it comes to our lab. What this is, let's say there's someone on your viewer here wants to build their own brand. We can private label for them, and they don't have to worry about where it's coming from. They can build their own brand. There's so many people very entrepreneurial, right? Our extraction lab is not just there for our product. It's there for any other person who's like, I have a consumer base, I'm a doctor, I'm a pharmacist, I have a pet store, I have a consignment store, I would love to sell this, I'm a grocery store, but now I want to make sure my product with my label comes from a reputable extraction, reputable farmers. So that's why our lab is called LKN Extraction, Lake Norman Extraction. So we can support anyone that wants to be in the industry. There's plenty for all, but we want to make sure that they're also practicing best practices for their customers.
I am so impressed, and I'm learning so much myself right now. Info at lknextractions.com. And if you see a label and you want to scan the QR code or submit the certificate to info at LKN Extractions to make sure of what you're purchasing, get it over to them, and they will answer your question and give you some feedback so that you're putting in your body the properly approved CBD thingy, right? I might be saying it wrong.
That is legal, that it has appropriate dose. We've had people market, this has 1,200 milligrams. When we took it to our lab, it had nothing. This is what I'm talking about, snake oil. So that ruins the reputation of the product, because then you're going to take it and say, I didn't feel well, but you didn't even have CBD in it.
And then I found out, go ahead, Dr. Fiona.
It goes even further than that. So even if people have CBD, it's a matter of how it is taken out of the plant, how it is extracted. Because the easiest way to do this is to do it with butane, which is lighter fluid, right? But you can never get all of the lighter fluid out. So I have had people come to me and say, hey, I'm using this product, but every time I use it, like I sleep well, for example, I took it for insomnia, but I wake up the next morning and have a killer migraine. Well, that's because it is made in a horrible way, right? You poison your body even though you try to aid it. So it's very important that the extraction method itself is clean and scientifically backed, that it really can retain everything out, get everything out that you put in order to make this product, right?
Wow.
It has become super common to just dump a bunch of chemicals on it and use these quick ways of making it, the cheap ways of making it, but then you can't get all of the chemicals out and you kind of poison the people that consume it. And that's why people don't show a certificate of analysis or don't show the whole thing that they should. I have in this industry so often, I feel like everybody has become a chemist, right? I know people, they used to be baggage handlers at airports and they are now working in one of the extraction facilities and all of a sudden they are a chemist, right?
Wow.
Like they don't know the first thing about it. It's almost like saying, everybody that cooks meth is a pharmacist.
That's interesting. That's interesting because, when I was laughing earlier, I was actually thinking about the fact that the person that had to burn down their plant immediately put me in the mind of, well, didn't everybody get high in the whole community?
Right? It's still too little, way too little for that. Now, if you have a big bonfire, I don't know. I wasn't there. I just know that,
Like party over here. Okay, I don't know. Okay.
So the method of extraction, we wanted to make sure we use food grade alcohol, so to extract the CBD from the plant, and that we recycle it. So everything what we do is green. Everything is recycled back. And then the hemp mass goes back to the farmers, feed the animals. So you have to think about your carbon footprint and what we are actually contributing as we're extracting this thing. So again, now you understand why I had to say if my doctors want to start prescribing and they're leaning on me, because their biggest thing was reducing opiate addiction. It's a number one issue in our country, right? You go in for a small surgery, you leave with opiates.
Dr. Fiona, go ahead and carry on because
I think the internet stopped there. They are just trying to approach it from so many ways, and probably when we say all of these things that it can help with, I probably should explain a little bit why it is so important in our bodies. So right. CBD actually belongs to a chemical group that is called cannabinoids, and our body naturally actually makes cannabinoids.
I'm going to pull her back in as well. I can see her back there. Okay, go ahead.
All right, great. Yeah, so we actually ourselves make these substances in our bodies. It just so happens that, as we developed over the years, all of our environmental influences have caused our bodies to make these chemicals less and less, all the processed foods and all the radiations from cell phone towers and whatever we have around us, right? Just simply have compromised our bodies. But it has turned out there is a receptor system in our body that controls very, very many parts, the nervous system, all of our pain feeling, and that is actually due to these cannabinoids. So we really need them. We just don't notice that they are lacking. And this is still so new because it was banned for so long. Researchers just started up in the last 10 to 20 years actually doing research on it and finding all of these things. So now, it is known that, for example, really severe diseases like MS, for example, can be rooted into this cannabinoid system. Wow. And so we can't just force our body to make more. This is why it's great that it's actually also found in plants and we can supplement our body.
Wow.
So this is where it really comes in handy. And it's not like these substances are only in hemp. They are, for example, also in kava, or in echinacea. It's just there, the quantity is so low, you really would have to extract a whole lot and it would become much more expensive. So using hemp, where this is in high quantities in the plant, it's just easier. That's why people now go with hemp extracts to get this and to balance out our body. So when we say, you know, people with like opioid addictions, they typically have like an underlying like chronic pain disease. That's why they are given the opiates, right? And so, but a lot of like I said, the pain feeling or a lot of digestive issues are actually rooted in this imbalance in our body. And this is really where then the CBD and the hemp extracts can come in and really aid our body.
So it can just be a supplement. So so if you look at, and it's now in the 1990s that these doctors were like, wow, in medical school, we were not taught about this endocannabinoid system. We were only taught about the nervous system. So these cannabinoid receptors are all over our bodies, brain, stomach, everywhere. So when we don't feel our optimal, you could supplement. So you don't have to have pain and aches. So everyone needs to Google and learn about the endocannabinoid system. If a pharmacist and a doctor never learned it in medical school and pharmacy school, well, we know that the average American does not know what it is and what's the benefit. And animals have it too. So I have friends that now are helping their pets in their older age or pain or anxiety with CBD.
Wow. I mean, this is okay. So listen, if you all learned anything new so far that you did not know, and if you were like me from back in the projects, like, I don't know if you all grew up in the projects or not, but you had this understanding of anything that grew green is definitely considered marijuana versus it being the CBD and the hemp and everything being pulled out. Put a 1 in the comments if you learned anything new so far in today's broadcast that you just didn't know coming into it. And I can put a 1 myself because I did not know none of what you all are talking about. And actually just totally, I guess, is it stereotypes? What is it? Talk about me for a second. I'm not even telling you to talk about, you know how you say, talk about my friend, my person that doesn't understand.
Let me help you. My mom said to me, Amina, you're selling marijuana? Yeah. She freaked out, right? And I said, Mom, okay, let's talk about the difference between marijuana and hemp. It's the THC level, period. We have to understand what makes marijuana is the level of the THC, which puts people high. Now you have a plant that has been eliminated of the THC. Can I tell you about the benefits of this plant?
What lots of ones, by the way. So everybody's learning something.
And so my mom was like, and you know, I had to help them because I said, don't worry. So how I took my mom's nervousness was like, Mom, you don't even have to take it orally. Let me call Fiona. We can make you the cream for your needs, right? Topical application.
But right? It still gets in through the blood-brain barrier.
It's local. Local. It's a localized area, right? Oh. So there is no harmfulness if it's extracted correct. And remember, 0.03 is the legal. But when we extract it, we're way even below 0.03. So there's no psychoactive. You know, so when you start feeling relaxed, it's more that you're nervous. That nervous system, which is now called the endocannabinoid system, it's getting what it needs.
Yes.
To be balanced. It's like when you think about balancing your hormones, balancing your life, balancing your nerves, now you're balancing. So I really want everyone to learn. If you're going to learn about any system in your body, is your endocannabinoid system. Fiona, if you want to just type it on the chat, endocannabinoid system.
Yeah, we're trying to type some of the stuff that you all are saying. So definitely type whatever you all are saying too, because it's all, but I'm going to put this comment up.
Needs cannabis.
But I want to put this up too. You said the difference between marijuana and CBD is the level of the THC levels, according to Dr. Fiona and Dr. Amina. That's very important. I'm going to remove you for a second. Okay. she actually fell off the whole screen for a second. You're like, don't be telling me to type, girl, because now I threw she all the way out the whole studio messing with you, Dr. Amina. So, Dr. Fiona, when you're ready to come back in after you type a few of those points, just give me a thumbs up and I'll bring you right back in. What we're going to do right now is get ready to take a commercial break, but I want to tell you that what you all are sharing is very enlightening information. I'm so glad that you guys are here today on the Kim Jacobs Show. Today's episode sponsor, one of them is Attorney Charles Everidge and the Hunter Everidge Group. And so they deal with injury, disability, and also their website is www.hunter-everidge.com. They're located at 5457 Monroe Road in Charlotte, North Carolina. And their office number is 704-377-9157. Now, when you do reach out to them, let them know that the Kim Jacobs Show did send you their way. This is all of their phone numbers and information there as well. But let them know that the Kim Jacobs Show did send you over to them. They are a very reputable organization and do great work and will get the case most likely won. I can't say 100%, but I can tell you they definitely have a reputation for winning cases. So keep that in mind. And let me go ahead and introduce you to them now.
My father had 4 of his fingers amputated in a workplace accident. It was the first injured individual I represented. And I knew I had to win that case. When someone walks into my office and they've been injured, I know what they're going through. If you've been injured at work, work with Hunter and Everidge. We've got the experience, so let us help you.
Make sure you all stay connected with Hunter and Everidge and let them know that the Kim Jacobs Show did send you their way. And again, that's Attorney Everidge and Attorney Hunter. And I'll put their information right here in the comment section for you. So, let's see. There should be some questions coming in, comments, anything from anybody in the studio audience. Let's see. People are saying that they are learning so much information. So I think people just want to hear more from you all. Let's talk about some of the dangers associated with the CBD product.
So CBD is not just CBD, right? There is various products out there. CBD is actually just one of the components that is in hemp. The active ingredients that are in there that can benefit you, there's actually over 140 of them. And they all actually have been shown to have health benefits. One of them is THC. It's still, while it does get you high, it actually has shown great results for pain patients, which is why now the legislation actually considers legalizing marijuana, because it could help get a lot of people off of addictive drugs. But really, when you look for a product, look for what is called a full spectrum product. That is something that comes fresh out of the plant. It has all of the components in there, all of the cannabinoids, all of these active ingredients. People do kind of pick them apart in order to get the THC out. But from a chemical standpoint, you have to apply so much chemistry and work it up so much that it's almost like you add more chemicals into it just to get this one substance out. The substance is so low in there in concentration that you could probably drink like a 5-gallon bucket of the full spectrum oil and still wouldn't get high. You probably would have to run to the bathroom from like the carrier oil that it's in.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But it's so in such minute traces. The only danger that there is to consider is that nowadays drug tests are so sensitive. If you just simply take a simple urine test and you are using a full spectrum product, the possibility is there that it might test positive. I say this because
that's important. Wait.
It is.
Wait, because you're saying that in the midst of a whole statement, but when I hear something, I have to stop it for a second.
Yes. So that is, if you are regularly drug tested, that is something to consider. And this is if you take it internally, if you digest it, right? Okay. So, for example, we only make tinctures that are taken. You put those under your tongue, and that's where they are taken up. They do go into the bloodstream. We have yet to find somebody to test positive. But the possibility is there, and everybody's body is different. So we don't know how everybody reacts.
Right.
That said, if you are drug tested, you have, for example, arthritis or fibromyalgia, right? Those are typical issues that we run across, and hemp and CBD can really help these people. But in those cases, if you are drug tested, it is really good to consider a topical, like a lotion or a roll-on, because those are actually shown. There is scientific literature that those do not go into the bloodstream. So you can use them in however much quantity you want, and they do not test positive, right?
Wow. Okay.
So, that is very important to consider. Now, we have found that if people are drug tested, it typically goes a very long way to just simply talk to your employer. Tell him why you want to use, a hemp product, or talk with your doctor. Some doctors write prescriptions. We have customers that are cops that literally have a prescription on file. And you can actually tell a difference in a drug test when you do a blood test, because there they can show the exact quantity, right? How much is in your blood versus in a quick urine test. It's just like a pregnancy test, right? It can only say yes or no, but it can't tell you, hey, you are in your 6th month, right?
Right.
That's pretty much how these urine tests work. So if somebody is actually consuming full spectrum, they might want to ask for a blood test, because there you can very clearly see, did they smoke marijuana or did they actually take like a industrial hemp product? So that's very important to know.
That's good. And then also you said it's over 140, what did you say, benefits or chemicals?
Different substances. Over 100, I think it's 146 right now. They are still finding them every once in a while. More
Fiona is such a nerd when it comes to the chemistry and what's in this plant, and she follows the number of things. So a good example she gave me, it's like an orange. You have the peel, you have that first layer of skin, then you have the actual juice, then you have all those pulps. So when you think about the hemp plant, it has all these components that together gives you the whole, what we call entourage effect. So if you drink orange juice versus eating a whole orange, right, you get different benefits out of it, because all those components have a benefit to it. So that's why we like full spectrum. That means you get the whole plant. We're not stripping what nature was intended for that plant. We're just extracting it so you're able to utilize it in a safe way to give you the benefits.
Wow. If you see me doing all of this, I'm trying to also, I have Shannon and we're kind of both here typing some stuff. This is excellent information that you all, Dr. Amina and Dr. Fiona, this is outstanding information that you all are sharing. And there was a question that came in, and I want to make sure we go to studio audience. If you have questions, please type your questions now and we'll get some of these answered. Okay, Sharon Hankins Johnson says, can someone use it if they've had a past history with drug use?
Yes, there's no addictive background to this. The science is pretty clear that hemp is not addictive. We have had a lot of people that used drugs in the past and that use this perfectly fine. So, so far there's no evidence that this could cause any trouble, especially to people that already have like, an addiction background. It can, a lot of times this is actually something that can really help them, because a lot of these people actually struggle with anxiety or depression. They see something or they get a prescription and they're like, they have surgery. Oh, I can only take like 3 of these pills because otherwise I have to be afraid that I become addicted again, right?
Right.
And so, that's a fear that these people seriously face. And I have a lot of friends. One of my aunts is one of them, right? And but this has been actually a very safe alternative. Like we mentioned previously, it is, however, worth it when you do consider a CBD or a hemp product. Talk to your healthcare provider, just in case you use any other medication that can, be influenced by this. And typically they are not influenced in a negative way. But like, for example, I have friends that have diabetes and they all of a sudden need less insulin because actually the cannabinoids can help regulate this a little bit, right?
Interesting. Okay.
And so for them, it's very easy to see because they frequently, measure their sugar levels in their blood. But if you have like a blood pressure issue, you don't constantly measure your blood pressure or cholesterol,
Right.
So it's just important, inform your healthcare provider, let them know, have them monitor you a little bit closer. And it only works out in your favor.
And that's why we want it to be available to have a brand or a product like Bella, where people can email and say, I want to start this product. These are my medications. So we have pharmacists on staff that can reach out to you and help you really organize yourself to get the benefits, but not harm yourself. And happy to talk to your providers about it. So 5 years from now, it probably will become mainstream because we can no longer deal with the opioid addiction as a country.
Yes.
Okay, so let me go back then, because as we're saying, BellaElements.com, tell us what people can expect to have happen when they reach out to BellaElements.com.
That's our website. That's one of the assets that we produce. So LKN Extraction is our lab that produces Bella, that can produce for anyone here on the audience that wants to build their own brand, right? Another asset we have Dava that we produce for independent pharmacy owners. They just wanted to have a safe product. But if you don't have a pharmacy, you don't have a relationship, you can buy from Bella and we will be your pharmacist and your chemist, because then you will send your questions to us and we will address it with you. We will talk to you. We would help you get the benefits you're looking for. So we have our products online out there.
Wow. So, okay. So what I'm hearing, and you all correct me if I'm wrong. If somebody wants to, they're manufacturing, they're growing their plants properly, and they want to get them tested through your chemical components, they would be able to brand their own packaging?
Yes,
or something?
someone who wants to have their own Bella Elements, an entrepreneurial spirit that says, this is beneficial. I live in this small town. People come to buy stuff from me. I already sell Vicks. I already sell other things. I would love to have CBD, but I would love to have my own brand. I don't want Bella. And we can say, fantastic, we can white label for you. We can source it from the farmers. We can test it. We can produce it. And you can give us your label. But at least you have a peace of mind that you have a clean product and it's backed by science. And every question you have, we're there to help you along the way. So we're doing right now, we have a gym that we're doing topical, like we have our icy hemp equivalent to BioFreeze with better benefits, because Fiona comes from homeopathic. And so she adds other things that are from natural plants.
Now, y'all, listen here. If y'all are now they telling you all how you can actually create your own
brand
CBD. And now if this is just blowing your whole mind, put a 5 in the comments. If this is just straight going like, okay, put a 5 in the comments, because this is like a lot, right? What you all are hearing today. I don't know if it is to you guys. To me, it is. Okay, so Sharita says, great day, Lady Jacobs. Glad to have you, Sharita, in the studio audience today. Chantel Patterson, you said good morning. Good morning to you, and glad to have you today here on the Kim Jacobs Show. You guys make a difference in the studio audience, so I appreciate you all being here. Let's see. I want to make sure I don't leave. Oh, yeah. Somebody said, it's 0.3, Vanessa. We typed it wrong initially. It's 0.3.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Wyoming said, good morning, ladies, to you all. Can you answer that question? Somebody that has a past history, yes, they can still take it. Any other questions or comments? Good morning to you, Aunt Jenny, my Aunt Jenny from Emporia, Virginia area. Okay, yes, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. Andrea, I see you just joined, girl. We talking about CBD today on the Kim Jacobs Show. You done got yourself into a good old seat over there. Okay. What else do you want us to know, Dr. Amina and Dr. Fiona, about CBD? Where does the hemp come from, and how is it extracted? I'm trying to understand how this is the process.
So
here.
It's like a tea. You can imagine if you have a tea, like a fruit tea, and you have your tea bag and you dip it in water.
Okay.
The tea kind of comes out. That's what we do with the hemp plant. Only that instead of water, we need to use ethanol, which is an alcohol typically found in adult beverages.
Okay.
It's important that is something that is safe. So ethanol is actually a solvent. You know, the FDA considers it as generally regarded as safe or GRAS. So this is why we use that. Like I mentioned earlier, a lot of people use butane, which is lighter fluid, very dangerous. It can cause migraines and other health issues. Another typical solvent used for extraction is CO2 or carbon dioxide. The downside that people don't consider is we use this holistic supplement now, but we are literally blowing greenhouse gases into the environment when we use something that is made with CO2. And that's just not healthy for the planet, right? If we want to be a little bit more considerate, we feel like you have to consider all aspects of it and try to have a clean process, right?
When you think about extraction, which was your question, so Fiona works with the farmers. They grow the hemp. She makes sure when she buys the hemp that it's 0.03.
0.3.
0.3 before we even start the process. So Fiona gets it from the farmer, weighs it, takes it to a third-party lab to validate it, that it's clean, that we don't have mold, that is 0.3. Then she takes it. Now you have what she calls the tea leaves. How does she get this hemp plant to produce this CBD? So that's when she now adds it in what we call a solvent, which is our choice is food grade alcohol, so it's safe. And she uses that to extract. So now you have all that good benefit out. You know, so this is in simplicity, but if you come to the lab and you see our apparatus and everything, she finally gets to the amber color, pure CBD, you know, pure extract. Now from the extract, we send it back to a lab to make sure Fiona wasn't sneezing in there and making a mess and so we send it back to the lab and said, did our extraction process validate we were clean in processing this and we did not contaminate? And they give us a certificate saying you are absolutely right. Then we move into bottling it and ready for a consumer.
Wow. Okay. I took so many notes here, and I'm a big note person. So I have lots of notebooks and journals, and I'm forever writing and capturing. So what I understand is that you work with the farmers, they grow the hemp, you weigh it, you validate it. That's for the chemist side of things. You weigh it, you validate it. Then the hemp plant itself is what produces the CBD, but you all have to use a specific type of alcohol that's typically found in adult drinks. Then you actually get that to make sure that it's pure and hasn't been contaminated in any way by Fiona or anybody else sneezing or whatever. Then ultimately you're given a certificate, and then you're bottling the product and it becomes a sellable item, right?
Yes, right. And we put a QR code so you can see our whole process.
If I'm an expert now, y'all, put a 10 in the comments. I would like to see somebody put some kind of 10 in the comments that Kim Jacobs learned something today, okay? Let's see. Okay,
well,
lots of other
just
comments.
in case, if you are still not sure about any of these things, go to our website. There is actually one page in there that is hemp education, where we think it's very important that people actually know what they're using. If they have questions, they can approach us. We talk about the legalities, about the history of hemp, how the different things are made. I think this is very crucial. So go visit the website, and if you are curious and you just want to try it, you can use the code BELLA20, and you will actually get a 20% discount on our website if you watch this show today. And like we said, any question you might have, even later on, feel free to contact us. We're always happy because we feel like there's such a prejudice with this. Like you say, you see a green plant and it's automatically, you know, it's something bad. But this could actually be so beneficial to so many people that we want to educate. We want you to feel more comfortable with it and know what you are using. And that's why we created this brand.
Okay, so let me go here and make sure we put this up. If you do want to try it, and even to the point where you can rub it on your knees or on your pain areas or in your joints or whatever. This is the views of Dr. Fiona and Dr. Amina. I'm not saying I'm the new representative and I'm out here, hey, because whatever works for you. So what I'm saying is, if you want to use it, make sure you use the code BELLA20 to get a discount for watching today's episode when you visit BellaElements.com, right?
Yes.
That's correct.
So what would they do? They would just check out in the...
Yeah, it's just an online store.
So you actually just sell the products there too yourself?
Yes. So on Bella Elements, we sell it.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to take people to your website because I didn't even fully get this. So I'm gonna put Bella Elements myself. And whenever I feel like I still have a question, elements.com. I think it's important if I have a question that I make sure that question gets answered for.
Absolutely.
My friend's dog was kicked out of daycare, but now he's going back because we've put him on CBD because he was just very hyperactive and they wouldn't take him, and so I called Fiona.
I'm hanging loose.
So now again, we've supplemented to the endocannabinoid system to just calm them. So we're not talking about nerves, we're talking about the endocannabinoid system. And when I knew that physicians and us pharmacists, we never were taught in pharmacy school, now I'm all awakened and I'm no longer prejudiced. I'm like, who held this information from me?
Yeah. And it's really at this point, we're getting to the point where it's not just storytelling anymore. Hey, I know somebody who knows somebody, but now there's scientific evidence there. It goes to the degree, just in the last few weeks, I read several articles where even with this whole pandemic that we're having right now, the COVID pandemic, there have been people that actually had COVID and struggled with lung disease after, and they actually have been helped by the CBD because it can help reduce inflammation in the body. And it really was almost more efficient than like some of the chemical drugs. So slowly the serious scientific evidence is coming out for all of these diseases like arthritis or depression, anxiety, insomnia. The list is so long and it can really help. So it's just worth it to consider and look into it.
Wow. Okay. Well, we have a few more questions and I see your questions in the studio audience. We're going to take a quick commercial break. And I would like to introduce you to Attorney Kenneth D. Snow. Attorney Kenneth D. Snow is one of our sponsors, and the information that he provides, he comes on and does a legal moment with Attorney Kenneth Snow. And I'd like to introduce him in his practice to you now.
I'm Attorney Kenneth D. Snow, and at the Snow Legal Group, justice is our job.
For more than 20 years, Attorney Snow has been fighting for justice and winning cases in the Carolinas by providing aggressive representation in criminal defense, domestic violence, family law, serious injury, and wrongful death. If you've been injured or lost a loved one in an accident, including tractor trailer or rideshare, you need the Snow Legal Group by your side, fighting for justice and fighting for you. Visit snowlegal.com. Call 704-358-0026 for a free virtual consultation. Located at 6827 Fairview Road, Suite D in South Park.
All right, everybody, please. Wow, I think we've been on a roller coaster ride today in a good way, learning quite a bit of great information. I do want to put the phone number again up to Kenneth Snow, the Snow Legal Group. Their phone number is 704-358-0026, or you can email them at info@snowlegal.com. Now, a few questions that are coming in. Wyoming said, can you put this in food?
Yes, absolutely. Now, it is important. Keep in mind, this is an oil. So it doesn't mix very well with water. We can see out in the market now water-soluble CBD. From a chemical standpoint, I'm going to step back from it. But for example, I have mixed it in salad dressings before, or made like a latte macchiato with it and mixed it in. Anywhere where you have some fat in it, like a butter or an oil, it goes wonderful in it. You can cook with it. It's really great. So yeah, you can absolutely put it in food.
Next question is, you are now woke. She said, I might actually try it with my fibromyalgia.
Yes, please. And if it does do anything for you, good, bad, or ugly, let us know. because from people that actually used it, we still only can learn. While we have a lot of success stories, sometimes we have somebody that says, well, I'm allergic to the carrier oil, which is hemp seed oil. Can you put it in something else? And we can always do that. We are still a very small company, local here in North Carolina. We can tweak things. So yeah, we always want to hear feedback. Absolutely.
Okay, another question said, Andrea said, I just purchased a hemp lotion from Amazon. Not sure if it's the same thing. I'll check out your website as well to find out, because what they're saying is that the stuff that they have in their cart has been chemically and pharmaceutically approved, and they have proper certificates, right?
So we are scientific. We know what we've made. We are not being private labeled by anyone else. So we can only speak on what we know we've done, and the milligrams that are in there, that we have what we call product integrity from farm to the end user. We control it.
And especially if you get something off of Amazon, eBay, wherever it is, you have to be very careful, because Amazon itself actually has a policy against selling CBD. So what people do is they sell products that have hemp seed oil in it, which is basically when you take the seeds off the hemp and cold press them like olive oil. And they use that in products. It's healthy, it is good for your skin, but it really doesn't have any CBD. And this is where the term snake oil came from, because a lot of people try that and they're like, man, it just didn't work for me. Well, that's because you actually took salad dressing and not CBD, right?
Yeah, and they're not saying, or I don't know what they're saying, but on the Kim Jacobs show, I'm saying that the views expressed are the views of our guests that are here, not always expressed of that of Kim Jacobs or the show. And so what she's saying as far as Amazon and everything of that nature, then just make sure you use whatever the Amazon policies are pertaining to Amazon versus, just.
Right. And now look at that QR code. If you ordered the lotion, we gave you the knowledge. Do you have a QR code? Email us. We would love to walk through this journey, because every time we see people's eyes go like, wow, so I haven't been taking CBD.
That's very important. If people are not taking CBD, but they're only taking the hemp seed pressed, that's a big difference. And so definitely, I'm going to give you their email address again, Andrea. You can email them, share your actual QR code, the label, and they will give you the information based on what their scientific, chemical, and their pharmaceutical benefits are.
And the dose, how much do you know to put in for fibromyalgia? That's why as a pharmacist, we had to help with the chemist to make sure people are titrating the doses correctly to get the outcomes they're looking for.
Excellent. Make sure you all subscribe to the Kim Jacobs Show. And if I haven't done anything else for you all today, I provided y'all with some great information so you can make the best informed decision about CBD, the benefits of it. And that's from a scientific perspective and from a pharmaceutical perspective, with a chemist and a PharmD on here to answer those questions for you. And if you all would be kind enough to go back and on my Facebook page and just answer some of those direct questions, because a lot of people are still asking questions and putting comments, and I would love for you all to directly address those. So people said a lot of 10s. Yes, Kim, I know I learned a lot today. Dr. Amina is such an excellent teacher. I love it.
Thank you.
And Zakia said, okay, so 0.3 extracting, how long does that take?
So it doesn't, the plant already has less than 0.3%, we really don't have to do any more to it. We just take out what is in the plant. So it's a matter of the starting material that people start with. If they start with marijuana, they're going to have a hard time getting below that threshold. And technically they start with something that is, at least here in this state and in most other states, not legal. So it really boils down to what they start with. And that's something to look for in your product. See if they tell you where the hemp comes from. Right? That's very important, because a lot of hemp is actually imported from some Asian countries. And they use it, actually, hemp is a very leaching plant. They use it to purify their soil in between crops in order to get pesticides and fungicides out. And we basically take that and put it in our body then. So it's very important to look for a product that is really grown here, and that is manufactured here, and that you can see a full panel of analysis. Like, I know our farms are all within driving distance of us. They're all here in North Carolina. I can go check in on them. I know exactly where they are, and I know how they grow. They grow with organic practices, so we know, we start with a clean product, and we don't have to do anything to actually get to that value.
Excellent. Now remember to visit bellaelements.com and use code Bella20, and that's in the comment section as well. You can get a 20% discount. If you're watching today's show, use Bella20 as your code. Go to bellaelements.com, and then I'm also going to find this email again as well. I want to make sure you can email them. If you have questions about current oils that you're already purchasing, get the label information, scan the QR code, send it over to them at info@lknextractions.com. I'm going to also take you all, because sometimes if you're visual like I am, I like to take you to the website and show you where bellaelements.com. Let me show you that. And this is the site that yes, I'm over 18. They're like, yeah, you ain't getting on this page unless you're over 18. Okay. So here you are, and this is what the products look like, and you'll be able to go and do your own personal shopping there. It's personally crafted, professionally crafted, scientifically proven. They give you a full spectrum of CBD oils to choose from, and you can go and enjoy your own shopping experience there. They have CBD for pets and for topical use as well in humans. And then they have their featured products here for your viewing pleasure as well. You can add some things to the cart, and the prices seem to be very reasonably priced as well. So, and as well, you can learn some education. So you can get CBD 101 or share this video with your friends and your family, because it's been very enlightening. So go to bellaelements.com. I did want to share, I actually did some research too, and I wanted to share. I see it can relieve pain. According to this article that I read, could reduce anxiety and depression, can alleviate cancer-related symptoms, may reduce acne, might have neuroprotective properties, could benefit heart health, and it says several other benefits, but a lot of different. Some of the side effects I saw were diarrhea, changes in appetite and weight, and fatigue. And this is off of Healthline, if people want to know where I got this article from. Any closing comments?
Yeah, so the side effects is depending on the carrier oil, what the people are putting in it may not work well with your digestive. That's why Fiona said, if someone wants to get the benefit and they're having this GI, let us know. We can, as a compounding pharmacist, we can switch your carrier oil and you still get the benefits. So we're able to help you do that. And most important for people to take home is the education.
Okay.
That's on our website. You saw the Hemp Ed. Learn more, and learn more about your endocannabinoid system. You have it, I have it, and that's what CBD works on. So if you can learn that, you will really unlock a lot of knowledge, and we won't be prejudiced about it anymore.
Say that one more time. Say the cannabinoid. Say what does that mean to? Because I don't want to leave without hearing.
So you know how you know your nervous system?
Right.
There's a system in our body called endocannabinoid system.
Right. And I know this because I've done the research, but I want to make sure that my studio audience knows it.
So you Google the endocannabinoid system, you will find doctors saying, we were never taught in medical school. I'm now learning about this. That's why you see all those benefits that you just mentioned. It's coming from that relief from that system.
Good, good. Okay, Dr. Fiona.
Well, a lot of people, you just listed all kinds of issues, right? And I'm sure a lot of people are asking now, well, how is it possible that this one thing can help with so many issues, right? And I had this discussion a million times, but it really is due to this imbalance in our body, like the endocannabinoid system that Amina mentioned. So our body is just out of whack, and that causes us issues, and it influences everybody differently. But once that balance is reached again, that's when we actually have more balance in our body, and we get rid of a lot of these symptoms. And this is why it can help with so many different issues. So it's not like a synthetic drug that is made for one purpose and one purpose only. This well, technically, I guess it is made for one purpose only, and that is to balance our internal system, our body.
That's really, really good. Very good information. I went a little bit over today because I think that it was good information that you needed to hear. If you're going to purchase anything from specifically from their site, BellaElements.com, use Bella20 as your code and you'll get a 20% discount. You can definitely reach out to them directly. I've given you the way to do that. And they're both very approachable and willing and wanting to make sure that you get properly educated. So I'm really grateful that you all were on the Kim Jacobs Show today. And I think I behaved myself very well, right, Shannon? Give me a thumbs up. She said yes. Okay. And Cassandra, I know Cassandra, she said, please, Kim, just don't say these few words right here. I won't even yell out what they were, but they were like, just stay clear of saying that, please. So I commend myself and hit my own back for doing a great job as well. And I thank you all for being in the studio audience. Let me let you guys know that tomorrow you're going to be seeing some women that have taken a walk through hell, literally. And what that looks like, they're going to be talking about their new book, My Walk Past Hell. And each of their stories are about resilience, transformation, and their life-changing experiences. They're going to be right here on the Kim Jacobs Show at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then on Thursday, we have a young man that he's NFL alumni, and he said, hey, I flip houses, y'all. So we're going to learn about how he's flipping some houses, what we can do to learn how to get involved in this whole process. And he's our guest on Thursday, guest Greg Moore. And then, of course, we have Freestyle Friday coming up as well. And one of the, I think, greatest things that happened this week so far that I'm quite excited about, and my little daughter, my 13-year-old, she's going to turn 13 tomorrow, but she is officially did a little video for us. And we just hit 1,000 subscribers yesterday on the Kim Jacobs Show. And I'm so fired up. Can y'all hear that? I don't see the video, but I'm excited about it. I don't know where the video is. You can hear the celebratory. I don't know. I'm not seeing it, but I'm excited about it. And we get a chance to, let me see. What am I not? Okay. So we just hit 1,000 subscribers, and I'm super duper excited about it. And I hope you guys are as excited as, there it is. I hope you all are as excited as we are about it as well. So anyway, make sure you guys go and subscribe and turn on those notifications, turn them to all. It's been an exciting time for us to be able to get to that mark of 1,000 subscribers. And the only way this is possible is through viewers like you all. So thank you. Thank you, Dr. Amina. Thank you so much, Dr. Fiona. You all are amazing.
Thanks for having me.
And your information is second to none. So I feel way more educated as a result of just you being here today. So lots of comments still coming in saying great show and great job and everything. All right. Did I miss anything? Tomorrow's flyer. I did that already. Okay. All right, ladies. I believe that people are going to be reaching out to you guys to ask even more questions offline.
Happy to help. And we'll be answering their questions on the chat.
And my mom, she has like arthritis and stuff. She's like, that's some good information. So this is good. Great stuff. Thank you all. You all enlightened me is what I think I should say. And my perspective is definitely different coming out of today's episode than coming in. So
great.
Thank you so much. Pleasure being here. And you have a great audience, and we've enjoyed being part of the small education.
Well, thank you all. And you guys, make sure you all stay connected with the Kim Jacobs Show. I'll share with you how, and have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow at 11.